Now, thanks to the passing of the Gender Recognition Bill over the summer and celebrities like Caitlyn Jenner and our next guest, the transgender community has never been more in the spotlight.
Absolutely.
We're absolutely delighted to have Kellie with us. Great to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Kelly, it's great to have you
Are
here.
you just fresh from Lisdoonvarna?
Yes, and I'm going back there again for the next event over this weekend.
Yeah. Well, if anyone now hasn't heard your story, we're going to just take you back slightly. You were formerly Frank.
Yes.
Formerly Frank Maloney.
Yeah.
Boxing promoter.
Yeah.
And then, did you feel all your life that you were a woman, really, inside?
Well, I knew I was different from the age of 3. I felt very different, but I didn't know what it was, and I had no idea. But I tried to, obviously, coming from an Irish family, my father was very pro into sport and I 2 brothers, all boys. So I always tried to keep up with my brothers. So I always took part in sport and was always competitive. And you always want to please your parents. And then I read an article when I was about 15, 16 about April Ashley.
Yes.
And I read this article and I went, God, this is what I am. Yeah. I'm a transsexual.
Yeah, because April Ashley, I mean, you know, she paved the way through court, through everything for people like yourself. Now.
And but then still there was no one to talk to. There wasn't the internet, there wasn't the counselling, and there wasn't the support groups in them days. And how do you tell your mother and father that you're not the child they think you are? And I sort of suppressed it, I suppose, and I wanted to become the perfect father, the perfect son, and the perfect husband. And I tried, but in the end, I had to be true to myself because I attempted suicide a number of times, and I feel if I hadn't been true to myself, I wouldn't be here today.
And at what point then did you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to have to be the real person that's inside?
Well, I told my partner in 2009, which I think was one of the hardest things, and we tried to struggle with it and go with it. I think when my father died, just about 5 years ago as well, I wanted to tell my father when he was laying there dying on his deathbed, but I couldn't bring myself to tell him because I couldn't lose that love and respect that he had for me. And when he died, I made that decision that
you couldn't go on.
I couldn't go on.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about your children?
They've been fantastic. It was hard for them at first. My eldest daughter Emma's been like a rock to me. Sophie and Libby, they're characters. I mean, Sophie, my 20-year-old, she'll come around and she'll say, look, come on, we're going out, do you want to come out? And, you know, if there's some of my friends around my house from the trans community, they just talk to them and take them out, and they refer to me as Dad in a dress, which...
So they still call you Dad?
Yeah, I think it's something... you can't... I am their dad, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
So I can't take that away from them, and I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of people... Some people in the transgender community don't agree with that because they say it's disrespectful, misgendering me, but it's not.
I think it's your own decision. It's a very personal thing, what you want your children to call you. And I don't think anyone else can tell you or tell your children what they should call you.
No, it is quite funny though, because we went to America, and I took my 14-year-old daughter to America as a treat, and we went shopping, and we were coming back, and as we come through, we put our passports in, and I always travel under my mother's maiden name because it's easier for me. And the guy looked at it and he sort of turned and went, excuse me, what relationship are you to this young child? Cause
of course they were worried, kind of.
I went, I'm her dad, and he sort of looks at me and he looks at my daughter, and my daughter went, yeah, that is my dad, by the way. And he went, oh, all right, and just
He's like, let's not deal. Yeah. How do they kind of see you now when you dress as a woman, you know?
They're very critical of me.
Are they? Are they like, you shouldn't wear that dress?
Yeah,
or?
They've all got their own sense of style because they're all individuals, and they all try to tell me. I mean, Libby is the funniest. She'll come around and I got dressed one day and she went, do you want to look like Nan? I went, no. And so then I changed and I put it, and she went, and we're not going to church, by the way. You know, so I said, I'll tell you what, you pick out what you want me to wear. And so I'll deal with it like that.
They're great, though. It's great that it's all worked out for you.
How did the boxing side of your life take it then as well? Because when you think of boxing, you think of Lennox Lewis, who you were with and stuff, and real macho, really strong men, and all of a sudden...
I mean, in fairness, they've been quite good, but I've sort of just gone back into boxing in a small way. I mean, I came out of the sport for quite a while, and I've gone back in a small way. But you can see when I'm sitting at the ringside, a couple of the people look at me, and the officials, they're not sure how to take it at the moment. So it's like, breaking down more barriers, I suppose.
And I'd imagine there's a lot of ignorance around it, and people don't understand it. When people don't understand things, they're a small bit afraid of
Yeah,
stuff.
I think it's misunderstanding of the whole situation. And I have to remember, like, for 30 years, people knew me as a very boisterous boxing promoter who wasn't frightened to say what he wanted to, dressed outrageously and caused lots of problems for organisations, shall we say. So now they get this quiet person sitting at ringside and they go, no, it can't be the same way.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't work.
amazing.
Now, you're here for the outing, which is, I suppose, an extension of the Lisdoonvarna Festival. And you found Lisdoonvarna amazing. And I know you've bonded with Willie Daly, who's the matchmaker. Now, I know Willie Daly has a bit of a task, because tell us what Willie said to you the other day. This is actually really funny.
I met him the other day, and he started scratching his head like that, and I was looking, I thought, I wonder what he's going to say. He went, this is the hardest task I've ever had. I said, you're supposed to be very good. He went, yeah, but I've never had to find a man for a man that was a man, is now a woman and wants a man. I was like,
Willie also said to you, to Kelly, Willie also said something like, well, would you be willing now to stay at home in the house when your man goes out drinking?
yeah, and I was like, what? And he said, first point, he said, most men, he said, that I look, their interest, they want their woman to be able to, good housekeeping, great cook, cleaner, and drive a tractor. And I went, I'm a city girl, by the way.
Yeah.
And he went, this is going to be really hard.
Did you not say, Willie, I was a man for a long time. I know what a man wants, and I know what a woman wants now, and it's not that.
I thought I'd better be. I said, we're in the 21st century now, Willie. Things have changed. You know, look at these hands. He went, you've never done housework, have you?
You are very relaxed about being PC, about your transition, and you don't. If somebody kind of says something that is not politically correct, it doesn't bother you too much.
No, and I feel that's why I'm quite accepted.
Yes.
I mean, some will say I'm wrong, but everyone has their own way of dealing with it. This was my way of dealing with it. I just wanted my life to be as normal as possible and to continue as normal as possible and to be accepted in society. I don't want people to be afraid to talk to me. I don't want people afraid to come up to me.
Even if they say something by mistake, because it's still very new to a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it is. It's all about education and understanding.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing a lot now, going around schools and talking at home and talking to organisations, and it's helping people understand, because you talk to... I mean, I went to a school, a sixth form school just outside of London, and I was talking to them, and, you know, 10 teachers turned up, 4 school governors turned up, because they had no concept of what a transsexual is and what they go through.
And the journey, because it took you, what, over 2 years between you started with the drugs and then to the stage that you had the operation to become a woman in full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say that's the ending of my first chapter of my life. My second chapter is now, because people also get mixed up with it. You know, the LGBT community. Yeah. I'm a great believer that we should all work together and help each other, because I believe, I don't know about in Ireland, I know things have changed quite well and it's gone very forward, but in England, the transgender community are probably where the gay community was about 15 years ago, and we're still fighting for rights. And I think this is where the confusion is, because people think it's all about your sexuality. It's actually not. The T is about your gender.
That's actually very true. That's the most important point that you want to make there. This is a gender issue, not a sexual issue.
Yeah, and I think there should be, it could be LGB and T.
Yeah.
Again, I get in a lot of trouble for that.
Okay.
I'll say.
Loads of stuff happening at the weekend, of course, in Lisdoonvarna. Brendan Courtney's there hosting a blind date. Willie Daly will be flying around the place as well. Panty Bliss is there. Before we go, why Kelly? Was there a reason why you chose Kelly as a name?
It was just easy to spell.
You wanted to keep to your Irishness.
Kelly, thank you very much.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you.